The PS-890 AESA radar mounted in the balance beam fairing above the Saab 340's fuselage does not look like a war-winning weapon. It looks like a beam. A rectangular pod balanced above a regional turboprop aircraft more commonly associated with short-haul passenger routes than combat operations. But the AESA system inside that pod can detect and simultaneously track 1,000 airborne targets and 500 surface targets at ranges approaching 280 miles. It can look downward through terrain, seeing what every ground-based radar in Ukraine cannot, and it can do it while flying at 20,000 feet, continuously, for hours. When Sweden confirmed the transfer of 2 of these aircraft to Ukraine in May 2024, the question every defense analyst was asking was not whether the system was capable. The question was how long it would take Ukraine's forces to integrate it into a kill chain that could actually act on what it saw. What follows is the complete systems analysis of that kill chain, what it requires, what Ukraine currently has, what it is still missing, and what changes when 150 Saab Gripens join the network. Of the look-down radar problem that Russia's glide bomb doctrine depends on solving, and how the Saab 340 eliminates it. Of the Link 16 question, which remains the most significant unresolved variable in Ukraine's entire Western air integration. And of the SAR and GMTI capabilities in later AE variants that, if present in Ukraine's aircraft, would transform the Saab 340 from an air surveillance platform into a comprehensive ground intelligence system as well. But the architecture begins with the radar itself, and the specific geometry that makes airborne radar categorically superior to its ground-based equivalent in contested airspace. Ground-based radar systems operate under a fundamental geometric constraint. Their beams travel outward horizontally from a fixed point on the Earth's surface. Any object between the radar and its target, terrain features, structures, vegetation, and the curvature of the Earth itself, can obscure or degrade the radar's ability to detect and track what lies beyond it. This constraint is not a design flaw. It is a physical limitation that no ground-based radar, regardless of power or sophistication, can fully overcome. Low-flying aircraft, cruise missiles, and glide bombs exploit this limitation deliberately, hugging terrain to reduce their radar cross-section and extend their approach to within striking range before detection. Russia's FAB and KAB glide bomb variants, equipped with UMPK inertial and satellite navigation guidance kits, have been doing exactly this throughout the Ukraine war, flying low-altitude trajectories toward Ukrainian positions that ground-based radars cannot reliably track until the weapons are already in their terminal phases. Airborne radar eliminates this constraint entirely. The Saab 340 operating at 20,000 feet is above the terrain that blocks ground radar. Its PS-890 AESA beam looks downward across the landscape, across hills, forests, buildings, and the horizon, and sees everything beneath it. A low-flying glide bomb has nowhere to hide. A Su-34 or Su-35 preparing a bombing run from 60 kilometers behind the contact line is visible to the Saab 340 from the moment it takes off. The radar's 280-mile detection range means that by the time a Russian bomber pilot has climbed to his release altitude and oriented toward his target, the Saab 340 has already logged his position, speed, heading, and probable weapon state. That data is available for distribution to every platform in Ukraine's air network before the first bomb leaves the aircraft. Quick note, you're watching Defense Wire. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. The kill chain that data feeds into became operational in June 2025. According to reporting by Build, a Russian Su-35 was vectored toward Ukrainian F-16s conducting bombing sorties in northeastern Ukraine and the Kursk region. The Su-35 pilot was targeting the Ukrainian jets. The Saab 340, already airborne and scanning, detected the Su-35 from the moment it departed its base. Ukrainian F-16 controllers received the targeting picture, position, altitude, heading, and maneuvered a waiting F-16 into intercept position. The F-16 pilot fired an AIM-120 advanced medium-range air-to-air missile on the basis of the Saab 340's data. The Su-35 was destroyed. The aircraft, valued at approximately $85 million, crashed 10 miles inside Russian territory. The pilot ejected. This is the kill chain in its simplest form: detection at range, data distribution, intercept positioning, weapons employment. The Saab 340's contribution is steps 1 and 2, and without those steps, the kill does not happen. The critical unresolved variable in this architecture is Link 16. The NATO Standard Tactical Data Link System allows aircraft, surface vessels, and ground units to share targeting data, radar pictures, and voice communications across a secure, electronic warfare-resistant digital network in real time. In an optimal configuration, the Saab 340 builds the radar picture and distributes it simultaneously to every Link 16 receiver in range, F-16s, Mirage 2000s, Western Origin surface-to-air missile batteries, ground command posts. Every receiver sees the same picture at the same time, with latency measured in milliseconds. The network responds as a single integrated system. Reports from 2024 indicated that Ukraine's F-16s had their Link 16 systems disabled or removed to prevent technology compromise if a jet were captured or shot down. Reports from March 2025 indicated modifications to Ukraine's F-16 fleet, potentially including partial or complete Link 16 restoration. Neither set of reports has been officially confirmed. But the operational significance of the difference is enormous. Without Link 16, the Saab 340's targeting picture must be distributed through alternative data channels, voice, data modem, or direct controller intervention, each of which introduces latency and reduces the simultaneity that makes networked air operations decisive. With Link 16, the Saab 340 becomes the central node of a fully integrated air operations network that has no Russian equivalent operating in Ukrainian airspace. The second unresolved question concerns the specific variant of the AESA radar fitted to Ukraine's aircraft. Later versions of the PS-890 system include synthetic aperture radar and ground-moving target indication capabilities. SAR produces high-resolution imagery of terrain and fixed structures, functionally equivalent to an airborne reconnaissance camera but operating through clouds, darkness, and adverse weather. GMTI identifies and tracks moving objects on the ground, vehicles, armor columns, troop concentrations, logistics convoys. If Ukraine's Saab 340s carry these capabilities, their mission set expands dramatically. They are not solely an air surveillance platform. They are a persistent intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance asset capable of monitoring Russian ground operations in occupied territories and near frontline areas, feeding targeting data not just to fighter jets and air defense batteries but to artillery, drone operators, and ground commanders as well. The architecture reaches its logical extension when the Gripen arrives. Sweden's October 2025 pledge of up to 150 Saab JS-39 Gripen E-TEF fighters, which have not yet been delivered as of the time this script was produced, is architecturally significant because the Gripen was designed to operate within the same Saab sensor and data link ecosystem as the Saab 340. The AESA radar and the Gripen's avionics share design heritage. Integration between the two platforms is native rather than adapted. A Ukrainian Air Force operating Gripens under Saab 340 radar coverage is operating within an integrated system the two aircraft were built to form. The operational consequence is an air defense and counter-air network that covers the full spectrum from early warning and detection to intercept and weapons employment, with the Saab 340 at the center of the radar architecture and the Gripen as the primary receiver and actor. What the Saab 340 represents in doctrinal terms is the introduction of persistent airborne radar coverage into a theater that has operated without it since the beginning of the war. Every air operation Russia has conducted over Ukraine, every glide bomb sortie, every cruise missile launch, every fighter sweep, has been planned against the assumption that Ukrainian radar coverage has gaps, that low-altitude profiles are survivable, and that the standoff distances Russian bombers maintain are sufficient. Those assumptions are now under direct challenge for the first time. The Su-35 that was destroyed in June 2025 was flying under the same assumptions. The Saab 340 invalidated all of them in the same engagement. If you want to understand the operational consequences of the Link 16 restoration question and what a fully networked Ukrainian Air Force looks like in practice, check out our integration analysis. And if you want to see how glide bomb accuracy degrades when launch platforms are forced to extend their standoff distances, our weapons effectiveness breakdown will give you the full picture. Subscribe to Defense Wire so you never miss what comes next.